Okay, the following is a video over 3-1 notes, and this is parallel lines and transversals. What I first want to talk about here is different types of lines that we have. We have parallel, we have intersecting lines, we have skew lines, and then we have a line that's called a transversal. Okay, so I'm going to quickly describe and draw a couple pictures of parallel lines. And so let me zoom in here into parallel portion, and I'm going to write that parallel lines are two lines that do not touch. Okay, two lines that do not touch, and they go in the same direction. Okay. And I want to also note that these lines have the same slope. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a couple lines that are parallel here, and just two different lines. And so I'm going to call this line L and line M. And if I wanted to show that those two lines were parallel, I would simply draw these little arrows here to show that they're parallel, okay? And if I wanted to write that they were parallel, I would write that M is parallel to line L, okay? And one thing I could do here, all right, you know, I gave you a couple symbols, all right? This symbol here with the two up and down lines and these symbols with the arrows, okay, these are just symbols for parallel. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to what intersect means, okay? And so what I would say about intersect is that these are lines that do not, or that do touch. So I'm not going to say do, that touch, okay? And lines that touch, okay? So if I draw two lines here, say a line like this, and then another line that goes like this, okay, I'm going to call this line N, call this line P, and they intersect at a point, and I can call that some point like R, okay? So they're just lines that touch, okay? So line P intersects line N at R, at point R, okay? So that's that. All right, let's talk about skew lines. And skew is kind of interesting. I can't really draw. I can draw a picture, but I would need some time to explain the picture. We don't really have that much time. I'll show you in an example in class and in next video in the notes. So skew lines are lines that don't touch, okay, but they are not parallel, okay? All right, so that's that. That's what skew lines are. Okay, the next thing I want to do is talk about a transversal, okay? And a transversal, those are lines, or it's a line that intersects, oops, okay, a line that intersects two other lines. Okay, so let me draw a picture for that, and we kind of get some interesting things here. And I'm just going to draw two lines okay? And then I'm going to draw a transversal, okay? I'm going to put my transversals in blue, all right? And I'm going to draw a transversal here, okay? I'm going to call line, I don't know, line Q. This looks terrible. Okay, let me zoom in on this. Okay, this is line Q. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just call these lines S and T. Okay. Now, one thing I want to talk about here is that in between these two lines, S and T, okay, I'm going to call that the interior. Okay. This is inside of these two lines. Okay. And then the space is on the outside of those two lines. I'm going to call that the exterior. Okay. All right, so then what I want to do here is I'm going to name, we got some angles here, okay? And these angles, I'm going to go ahead and call this angle 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? And we've got some interesting things happening around these angles, okay? We've got this, this type of angles that we get. Let me see where I've got some room here. Okay, I'm going to write the word over here, and let's write these words. These are corresponding. I'm going to write the word corresponding. Corresponding. And these are in the same position. Okay. Okay, hold on. So we've got, I'm going to write up here. Before I write corresponding, I'm going to write the word types of angles. Types of angle pairs. Okay. And then, okay, so we've got corresponding angles. Those are in the same position. Okay. We've also got alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. We've got, I'm going to write a few of these down. Alternate exterior. Okay, and then we've got same side interior. And then we have same side exterior. All right, and these are all different types of angles that are created here. Okay, so if I was going to talk about corresponding angles, okay, those are angles that are in the same position. So the other ones are kind of, you can kind of figure out on your own. They're pretty intuitive. But corresponding angles, I would say that like angles 1 and 5 are corresponding angles, okay? So over here I'm going to say corresponding angles. I'm going to say like angle 1 and angle 5, okay? Those are corresponding. If I wanted to list another pair, okay, I would maybe say that like angles 3 and 7 are corresponding. We've actually got a bunch of pairs here. So I would say angles 3 and angles 7, okay, are corresponding. I would say that 2 and 6 are corresponding, okay? So angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. I would then say that angle 8 and angle 4 are corresponding. Okay. So those are my only pairs of corresponding angles, so angle 4 and angle 8. All right, but the thing that you guys got to see here is that they're in the same position, okay? So when I say that angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding, they're in the upper left corner of this intersection, okay? 2 and 6 correspond because they're in the upper right. Same with 3 and 7, they're in the lower left. 4 and 8 are in the lower right, okay? And then we have alternate interior angles, okay? So what I would say on that is that they have to be in the interior of these two lines here, okay? But, and then they alternate on either side of the transversal that's blue, okay? And so what I would say is that 4 and 5 are alternate interior angles. Same thing with 3 and 6, okay? So I'm going to write that over here, okay? For alternate interior, okay, these are angles, and I'm going to say angle 4 and 5, angle 4 and angle 5, as well as angle 3 and angle 6, okay? And then we have alternate exterior angles, okay, and it's a similar type of idea. And so what we know about those is that if I take one that's on the exterior and then alternate on the other side of the transversal, I'll get angle 8. Okay, same with 2 and 7. They alternate, but they're on the exterior, all right? So then, let me come in here and alternate exterior lines, that's angle 1 and angle 8, as well as angle 2 and angle 7, okay? And then let's talk a little bit about same side interior, pretty intuitive. They're on the same side of the transversal and they're on the interior, so 3 and 5 would be same side interior, 4 and 6 would be same side interior, so okay, so let's write 3 and 5. So I'm going to write angle 3 and angle 5, as well as, what was it, 4 and 6? Yeah. Okay, so I've got angle 4 and angle 6. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about same side exterior lines, and pretty intuitive again. So that's going to be angles 1 and 7, and then 2 and 8. All right, so we've got quite a few things here. Okay, I'm going to write angle 1 and 7. So angle 1 and angle 7, as well as angle 2 and, no, crap, did I do that wrong? 1 and 7, 2 and 8. No, I didn't. Okay. 2 and angle 8. Okay. So those are the different types of angles that are created by a transversal. That's a lot of information. We're going to do an activity in class that talks about that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video, and we'll start up with the next one. So thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, and before I forget, these pairs of angles have some interesting properties when these two lines are parallel. And folks, that's what I call foreshadowing.